From Newsnets and CCTV, it's high school basketball coming to you tonight from Cadillac High School.
Fourth and final quarter here at Cadillac High School as the Ludington Orioles and the Cadillac Vikings with a District 35 playoff preview for the Michigan High School Basketball State Championship. And it's the Vikings who have a 40-29 advantage heading into the fourth quarter. I'm Derek Tate alongside Dan Gussert. Dan, it was a 15-4 quarter in favor of the Vikings in the third. What did you see?
Oh, big blitz by the Vikings, like you mentioned, scoring-wise, but you got to look to their defense. They made a little adjustment, allowed Ludington to move the ball around and not play so much pressure and just stay in front. And Ludington has not been able to put a ball in the basket as a result.
It was Molly Anderson with 9 of the 15 points in that third quarter for Cadillac as she commits the foul. Third team foul of the second half. Seen a lot of clean basketball in the
yes.
As Ludington has a lot of work to do to get back in this one. They trail by 11 points.
Great weak side defense by Drabeck right there. Almost comes up with that steal.
And losing the handle is Abby Banstra. Drabeck comes away with the steal. The Vikings defense has turned up the intensity in the second half. McKenna Bryant, here's a jumper. That one off the front iron. Rebound snared by Bree Messiar. Just have not been able to find the buckets, has Ludington. Dangerous entry pass, but it's corralled in and a missed open layup by Keelan Laird.
Yeah, that's one they want right there for sure. That would cut it under 10. That was a big miss right there early in the game.
And Anderson lets it go. A little heat check. That one off the mark.
Vikings in their last two possessions with two really good looks from their star players on offense. Just not able to make them fall, and Ludington misses an easy one underneath. We're not going anywhere so far here in the third quarter or fourth quarter.
Stuck in neutral are both offenses. Drabeck playing the passing lane, tips that one out of bounds as the Orioles can't seem to find a basket. Another beautiful look down low, and this time the freshman Keelan Laird gets it to go. Back to a single-digit deficit for Ludington. 40-31, Vikings on top.
Laird's second basket of the game. She has 4.
McKenna Bryant, here's a pull-up jumper. Got it! McKenna Bryant finally gets one to go on the offensive end. The lead swells back to 11. Good dribble penetration and a late whistle as Allison Morse gets the foul and against Molly Anderson.
I think they called that on Whipple there.
My humble apologies.
I think it went up on the scoreboard as Anna Whipple, number 25. Yep, it is.
As the free throw is off the mark.
Yeah, the free throw line has not been kind here to Ludington so far in this game.
First half, they were able to get into the double bonus. Unfortunately, did not take advantage of those free looks. When you look at the box score after the game, you start nitpicking and thinking where you could have been a little bit more effective as Allison Morse, the senior, goes empty for that trip to the charity stripe. Lead stays at 11. Here's Anderson, who leads all scorers with 18 points. Bryant, beautiful look. Seeley with the left-handed scoop.
Yeah, the weak side is not able to slide over. They can't leave the Viking shooters right there, and that leaves Whipple with a great look inside.
Stowe's shot is off the mark, but another offensive rebound. What's new from Delana Porter? As she's had a fantastic game, even though the shots haven't fallen.
Well, she's definitely been a factor out there in this game.
She's given you a ton of effort on both sides of the floor, and particularly on the offensive glass with a ton of extra possessions. But that entry pass just goes off her foot, and the Vikings force another turnover as they have a 13-point lead, 44-31, with just under 5 minutes remaining. Here's a little zone look from Ludington. Olivia Meyer with a corner three. That one off the mark.
That would have been huge. That might have been the nail in the coffin had that one dropped in. Vikings still hanging on with this 13-point lead.
Open looks have been tough to come by here in the second half for Ludington. They do break the press. And they've got a lot of work to do. They're down by 13. Here's an open look for Katie Messiar, and that corner three falls. And the lead swells back down to 10.
Her second three-pointer of the night here tonight. That gives her 6 total points.
And Seeley gets bailed out there.
Just a hustle play, and you can't fault her for that. She slips and slides out of bounds as we run into another timeout here.
Coach Mike McLaurin wants to go ahead and...
Well, Derek, we're back here a few times next week. We see the same Cadillac Vikings, I believe, Monday night back here at Cadillac High School. And we're covering that game as Essexville Garber comes to town. Tuesday night is the boys. I can't remember who that opponent is. Derek, do we have that?
I can look it up here in just a second, partner. But, yeah, so the Cadillac Vikings are going to be finishing 3 games left on their calendar through the rest of the season. And then, of course, they're going to have their district play here as they host this Ludington Orioles squad.
The boys will be hosting their district a week later also.
As we're going to go ahead and have next week on Tuesday, it's going to be the boys squad for the Cadillac Vikings hosting. I'll have that information for you here in just a second. Well, sometimes we're all the victim of technology.
Absolutely.
Line is not behaving.
We'll see if we can get that for you folks a little later on here tonight. Yeah, Ludington, they're down by 10, and the biggest difference in the ball game is their free throw struggles, as they are now just 3 for about 14 in this game.
I mean, you look at this, it's a 10-point game and 11 missed free throws. That's another dangerous pass from McKenna Bryant, but Anderson able to corral it in. Anderson being pressured by Haley Stowe out on the perimeter, then a double team. Meyer has 10 points. She's into double digits. And there's a reach-in foul.
Nice sportsmanship right there from Porter. She helps Bryant up after she commits that foul.
There's only 16 fouls in the first half against the Orioles. They've only got 2 here in the second half.
Yeah, and that doesn't bode well when you're down by 10 with under 4 minutes to play.
There's maybe a little bit of an acting job there from Delana Porter, but a little forearm shove there from Jocelyn Seeley. Tip my hat for the effort, but Vikings retain possession. Another team foul, that's 3. Vikings lead 44-34 after they went into the halftime break tied at 25 each. Bryant over to Seeley. Seeley stripped and a turnover. And that's just what the doctor ordered for Ludington, as they need a bucket as they trail by 10. And letting it go from downtown is Stowe. That one rattles in and out. Bryant gathering the rebound. We haven't seen the shot falling for Bryant tonight, but she's doing all the little things.
She's doing so many things out there right now, absolutely. She has done this all season long. This is a great matchup. You know, we talked early on in this game why you schedule a contest like this late in the year against somebody that's in your district. And we know why. I mean, it gives both teams an opportunity to work on some things that they're not going to get to work on in a lot of the contests because they're so dominant teams.
As Katie Messiar lays it up and in, lead is only 8 now for the Cadillac Vikings, as there's a timeout called by head coach John Stowe.
Yeah, you know, that was an interesting shot selection right there from the Vikings. They've had some really good looks here in the last 3 minutes to really build upon their lead, and they haven't. We'll see now if they're content to say, all right, get me to the free throw line. Or do they continue to run their offense?
Well, it's the interesting thing, though, is we know that this is going to be the district playoff matchup here in just a couple of weeks. And we've seen both teams come out, great energy, great effort on both ends, execute certain things well, certain things they can certainly clean up.
Watch for a trap right here when she gets over half court. We'll see what Ludington does. There it is.
Drabick back to Meyer. Molly Anderson going baseline. Look at the ball movement from the Vikings. As Ludington finally gets their hand on a pass, just can't quite come up with the turnover. The Vikings looking like they're content to run plenty of clock.
This is not easy to do. Certainly it's hard to simulate in practice. This is a nice opportunity for the Vikings to practice, to work on this. Certainly they want to get the W. They're doing a great job with it right now.
Looks like they're playing hot potato out here as the fans begin to get into it. Impressive ball movement. The ball hasn't even touched the floor in near 30 seconds.
I'm surprised Ludington has allowed this much time to go off the clock without fouling. And maybe the coach is hollering for it. Kids aren't hearing him. That's only the 4th team foul as the Vikings eat up. What would you guess there, Derek? Over a minute.
That was over a minute. Impressive ball movement from the Vikings. And that's going to bring out an entirely new unit for Ludington as now the clock becomes their enemy. The Vikings offense, even though they're capable of putting up points in a hurry, they're more than content to play the keep-away game and secure the win.
That was a nice veteran move down there by Olivia Meyer to stay out of the corner. She caught that pass and came right back to the middle of the floor.
As Messiar finally generates a turnover for Ludington. But they got a lot of work to do. And there's going to be a foul on Olivia Meyer against Haley Stowe. I don't know if they're going to call that in the act or on the floor.
I don't think that would have been a shooting foul.
They do call it on the floor, and it looks like there's going to be a timeout for Ludington. Again, want to go ahead and take the time to thank our crew. They've done a fantastic job. Short-handed tonight. Hannah Crouch, our technical director, Damian Brooks, and Caden Darrow. Fantastic job, everybody.
So, Derek, this brings up one of the things you mentioned early on. Do you show all your cards right here? You know, Ludington's down 8, just a little bit of time left. What offensive set do you show to the Vikings right here? Because whatever you show them, they have it on file at this point. It's something you may not be able to run later on in the year or in the postseason, a couple weeks. Or is there something that comes off of it that they make an adjustment to? This is the cat and mouse part of coaching basketball. That's just a lot of fun to watch.
Well, anything that you run in this game, like you said, is going to be dissected and then copy and paste in practice, and you're going to simulate it over and over and over again. So you can either play to those tendencies or show them your hand and just try to go out there and execute it. But right now it's an 8-point deficit for Ludington as they've only been able to generate 11 points here in the second half. And the Vikings.
And we'll see what the Vikings do defensively if Porter gets it inside. Are you sending her to the free throw line where she has struggled mightily here tonight? That's where they go.
And look at Porter able to go through Anna Whipple, but unable to get that one to fall. And there's going to be a blocking foul on Katie Messiar as she cuts off McKenna Bryant. And that is the 4th team foul. And they're going to have to garner 3 more fouls in order to get the Vikings to the 1-on-1 situation. 2 more fouls, for a 1-on-1 situation. And Bryant dribbles through 3 Orioles. And here's the half-court set yet again for Cadillac. And then it's an unforced error as Molly Anderson.
Oh, that ball was tipped, it looked like, from our vantage point. That was a missed call. They're going to get one a game. That happens. But it does allow the Vikings to get set in their defense. Right now they're going to play with 6. Oh, Olivia Meyer does leave the floor. Good try, Coach Mack.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I mean, that's maybe a quote from Bill Belichick. Anyway, we got an 8-point game. Orioles need a bucket. And that three-pointer from Katie Mesyar does not go. Anderson is fouled by Haley Stowe, and one more will generate a 1-and-1 opportunity. And we see a little defense for offense as Olivia Meyer checks back in as Anna Whipple, the sophomore, takes a seat.
Yeah, you give another solid free throw shooter, Olivia Meyer, opportunity, a senior up there. How about that pass?
McKenna Bryant finds Maddie Drabeck as they begin to try to bleed off the remaining 43 seconds, and that one intercepted. And a hard foul, but a understandable foul.
Yes. Yep, and it helps her up. You know what? That's one of those basketball plays.
Abby Banstra, great job reading the passing lane.
And Molly was standing a little bit. Maybe she's a little tired right now. She didn't step to that pass, and as a result, Ludington goes to the free throw line here.
And it looks like they're going to have to wait until the first free throw is taken from Banstra. This is her first trip to the free throw line. And one off the mark, and this is going to be, if you're head coach John Stowe, you have a lot of things that you can take away that are a positive from this encounter with the Cadillac Vikings. And one of those is you just got to make your free throws when you get to the charity stripe.
Yeah, even if you shoot 50%, that's a whole different score right now.
Banstra goes 1 for 2 at the line. It's still a 3-possession game. Vikings lead 44-37 with 38 seconds remaining. As Whipple goes back to the bench, Meyer checks back in. Next foul will be a 1-and-1 opportunity. Anderson, dangerous pass, but McKenna Bryant able to corral it in. Foul from Katie Mesyar, and that'll send McKenna Bryant to the charity stripe to try to put this one away.
Even though you don't get the steal right there for Ludington, you pick up the foul. It doesn't use much clock and gives you an opportunity. Let's see what McKenna can do from the free throw line.
Tell you what, if that did get intercepted and an easy bucket on the other end, things might get a little bit more interesting. But Bryant to the free throw line for the second time tonight, and she rattles in and out. So Ludington gets the Vikings to come away with an empty possession. Just under 30 seconds left. That one off the mark. Orioles stay with it. Mesyar. And there is the bucket from Porter.
That honestly is just her second basket of the game. Seems like she's had a lot more. She's had so many free throw opportunities. Cuts it to 5.
And while they're counting down the full timeout on the scoreboard, we've got ourselves a 5-point game, and we've seen the Vikings bleed a little bit of clock with good ball movement, but also a couple dangerous passes as they were trying to close this one out. Again, not wanting to show your hand in too many different situations. You got to be pretty happy, though, if you're Coach Mack, able to bleed off as much clock as they have been able to. You just got to come up and knock down your free throws.
Well, and Ludington had so many fouls to give. It allowed them to be a little more aggressive. Certainly, if they had committed some more fouls early on in the half, we would have seen the Vikings at the free throw line a lot more. So, in this quarter, the Vikings have only put up 4 points, but they've been on offense a great deal of it.
As the final game of this season for Ludington will be on February 28th against Orchard View of Muskegon. 44-39, 5-point lead, 14 seconds remaining. Inbound goes to Anderson, and they got a foul. Bryant back to Anderson, and that'll do it as the Cadillac Vikings improve to 16-1, and one foul now with 0.7 of a second. I was almost about to go full sign-off line there, but now we get to have Bryant go back to the line.
once again, we want to congratulate her as she has signed her commitment to continue playing girls basketball, heading just a little bit south of here to Davenport University down in Grand Rapids.
Absolutely. She's got more basketball in her future past this season as Bryant goes 1 of 2. And that will do it here as the Cadillac Vikings prevail over the Ludington Orioles to improve to 16-1 on the season by a final score of 45-39. Stay tuned. We've got our post-game show coming your way from Cadillac High School here on NewsNet Sports and CCTV.